Jack Rourke and Chandler Williams.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to the first episode of Warped Celluloid, the best podcast for far-out films. I'm your host, Jack Rourke, with my co-host,
Chandler Williams.
How you doing, man? How's it going?
Good, Jack. How are you?
Pretty good. We're just a couple of film majors in film school right now. Kind of casual, just starting a podcast just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
So this podcast, which first episode, I figured it would be best to introduce a few things. For starters, let's get this one thing clear. This is not going to be a bad movie podcast or the ironic, hey, let's get, roll up, gather up and see the freak, like, carnival spook show type thing. Or anything where we just sit there and make fun of the movie, because that whole thing has been done to death, in my opinion. And it's just not like the fun. Or
Yeah.
it's not, it used to be mainly because it's just way so ironic that it's kind of attached, and you're really not even getting anything out of this anymore, are you?
Yeah, we're basically just going to discuss each film.
More like genuine appreciation, and not in the high art cinema, like, yes, this is a rather fun film, yes. More in that, hey, I love this movie, and I feel like more people should check it out, and here's why.
Yeah, just a casual...
Something a little more straightforward, and
casual review.
With that. Right, and not just like the standard stuff that everyone's seen, and we want to go really, really weird. Trust me, at one point we're going to be covering Zardoz. That'll be an interesting experience. Alright, without further ado, what's going to be the first movie we're talking about?
Repo Man. It's a mystery.
Suppose you're thinking about a plate of shrimp. Suddenly somebody will say, like, plate, or shrimp, or plate of shrimp, out of the blue, no explanation.
It's a comedy.
What are you doing? Don't do that!
It's a chase. It's the forces of law
Marlene, I'm on my coffee break.
against the representatives of discontented youth, against the finest minds in government.
I had a lobotomy in the end.
Lobotomy? Isn't that for loonies?
Not at all.
And they're all in pursuit of a 64 Chevy Malibu from who knows where.
Blam! Eyes melt, skin explodes, everybody dead.
Repo Man. The story of the ultimate repossession. Repo Man. Not just a job, it's an adventure.
We watched Repo Man, which was so great. Really blew me away. I had never seen it prior to watching it.
We just actually watched it before we started
Yes,
recording.
we just finished it. I thought it was great. It was
Yeah.
a great job of world building.
I first discovered this movie in high school.
Yeah.
I had a buddy on Twitter who was like, have you seen Repo Man? Have you seen Repo Man? I'm like, no. Should I check it out? Yes. I'm like, all right. So I rented it from the library one night after school. I went home, put it on, and literally from the first a few minutes, just the opening credits, I was hooked. Black and green retro CRT monitor. You're looking view of the map, or in the way it's constantly phonetically cutting, the Iggy Pop music, the whole vibe I got from like, okay, yeah, this is 100% for me.
It's a strong and very specific vibe.
Yeah.
The movie builds.
Before we get into that, I think we should actually get into the story. We're not going to go plot or point beat for beat because that seems kind of pedantic, but we'll just give you the little moments, and which is fitting because this whole movie really is just kind of about little moments and the little bells and whistles, smaller details.
But the synopsis
Goes a little so there's this punk in mid 80s, but not the 80s everyone knows, not the Stranger Things Starcourt Mall.
Yeah.
Mall, everything is covered in neon and everyone's listening to, I don't know, Kajagoogoo.
Talking Heads.
I mean, actually, there were more people listening to Talking Heads than you imagine. That was more kind of the fringe type thing.
Talking Heads was fringe?
Well, starting out, yeah, but they weren't.
I mean, yeah.
They weren't but they weren't the omnipresent. They were popular, but not literally everyone is talking about them.
Yeah. I mean, I would consider them more popular now.
Oh, definitely.
Anyways.
Yeah.
They're great bands, but yeah.
Yeah, I love them. There's one movie from the same year, actually, Stop Making Sense. It's a concert film they did with Jonathan Demme. Probably the best concert film I've ever seen.
Wow.
Worth checking out. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. This being a podcast, we're probably going to get very sidetracked, but whatever. We'll just deal with it as it goes. So, Repo Man, it's about this kid named Otto, played by Emilio Estevez, and I think this is the year before Breakfast Club, which makes it feel interesting to me. Because it's such a different character from them.
He's it's pretty like I would say kind of similar character, but
roughly. I mean, obviously
yeah,
it's the same actor,
roughly.
so it's gonna have something carry.
Yeah, there'll be some carryover, but he's still kind of like a punk.
Yeah,
kind of a
like
jock,
someone who's kind of reserved. More, he won't bother you if you don't bother him, but if you do bother him, he'll kick your ass.
Yeah, and instead of being like a punk,
In that he's like a jock.
He's like a
like an actual punk.
Yeah, an
like in the
actual
true
punk.
sense of the word, not the cartoon Billy Idol stereotype. Type of like the mohawk, the leather jacket with raising your hand, like revolution, and that kind of thing.
More of just like a burnout.
Yeah, just like an aimless direction.
Yes, yeah.
Basically, he's like a kid out of high school who didn't have any plans for his life. His life isn't making enough money to get to college, so he's just kind of biding his time. Yeah.
And he gets a job as a repo man.
Yeah, so Harry Dean Stanton one day just approaches him on the street, gets him into stealing cars from people who can't make their car payments, and from there he just gets into the weird world that he inhabits, with Harry Dean Stanton taking him under his wing of sorts, like showing him like, okay, here's how things work around here. Here's the little details, the subtle phrases you need to memorize. One of my favorite little things about this is how they have like a sort of Repo Man code, but they are just kind of immoral. They often break it.
Yeah. Yep. There's like no real point to having a code or following the code.
To quote a line from the movie, "Ordinary fucking people. I hate them." I want that on a T-shirt.
There are a lot of memorable lines.
Oh yeah. Life of Repo Man is always intense. The Ordinary People one, and a few others.
Like I had to torture you, but no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Like it's just business.
I shall not cause harm to any vehicle nor the personal contents thereof, nor through inaction let that vehicle or the personal contents thereof come to harm. It's what I call the repo code, kid. Don't forget it. Etch it in your brain. Not many people got a code to live by anymore. Hey, look at that. Look at those assholes over there. Ordinary fucking people. I hate them.
Me too. What do you know, kid?
See, an ordinary person spends his life avoiding tense situations. Repo Man spends his life getting into tense situations.
Then we followed it up with
Assholes.
Lonesome and Mike.
Let's go get a drink.
I like the dude who just sits at the trash in the oil drums and starts like lighting stuff on fire and just rants about why driving makes people stupid, and then
talking like super existentially.
And he ends up kind of being right in the end. I don't want to give away how, but that ending is something else.
It really is. You could like think of him as more important.
Yeah, he's a side character. This movie is all about the little details, like the world building, like the little like the food packaging, literally being like this minimalist IKEA thing where it's like cans that just have like food written on.
No graphic design whatsoever.
Yeah, the government agents who are way less threatening than you'd expect. Like, things just happen, but not this is in Nerdist drama, but more it's kind of absurdist comedy.
Yeah, that's what I really love.
Like
some of my favorite films have that, just like kind of seemingly
Jim Jarmusch has this quality. Clerks definitely has this quality, but that
David Robert Mitchell.
Yeah, like Under the Silver Lake, especially. Which,
like
don't worry, we are definitely talking about that in a couple episodes. Just you wait.
It's like seemingly meaningless details, but just so specific.
Yeah, you feel like you could actually live. Well, if not live in this world, you actually feel like you could know. Know it and have. Like you could feel like you could go there.
Yes, absolutely. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful is an interesting choice of words. It's certainly unique. I'll say that.
Uniquely beautiful.
Fair enough. There we go.
Anyways.
I was trying to remember. Oh yeah. Did we mention the car that melts people? Because there is a Chevy Malibu in this movie, and whatever is in the trunk, I'm assuming it's something aliens or supernatural. But whatever it is, the government wants it. It's worth a lot of money to the Repo Man, so everyone's kind of chasing it.
It's like the Indiana Jones meets.
Like it's like the box from Kiss Me Deadly or the suitcase from Pulp Fiction and the Ark of the Covenant. Which, fun fact, Kiss Me Deadly is actually where this kind of trope originated from, with the little glowy box of evil.
Nice.
That actually came from like a production thing, because in the book it's based off of, it was actually like a block of heroin, and you couldn't mention drugs in movies in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
Alright, in the 50s, so they just feel like, okay, here's like a box of like Atomic Secrets or something. There's actually a shot that I think is actually mimicked in Pulp Fiction. It's where like someone opens the box and it's like they're looking down and it's like glowing It's like
a trunk shot.
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Tarantino steals a lot.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, everyone steals.
I
a
mean,
lot.
good artists borrow, great artists steal. That classic bit.
Exactly.
Like, here's the thing. People are like, okay, I'm gonna go on a tangent real quick. People act like Tarantino's like the first to do that, but guys have been doing that since literally the beginning of movies. Like Brian De Palma was doing that, but for almost exclusively for Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Hitchcock for his career. Like, watch something like Blowout or Dressed to Kill. Those are basically modern day Hitchcock movies. Blowout's amazing, by the way. I'd highly recommend it.
Alright, check it out. You need to make me a list.
Yep. I'm gonna. That list is gonna be pretty long, man. Anyway, back to Repo Man. Back to the main topic of discussion. Oh right. Oh yeah. Back to the photography in this is actually really nice. Not in the Roger Deakins every image looks like a painting way, but more it fits the movie perfectly and it accomplishes everything you need to.
Like a cinematically mundane.
Yeah. It was shot by Robbie Mueller, who works a lot with Jim Jarmusch, and he's worked with Alex Cox before. He's also worked with Wim Wenders. The guy, immensely talented cinematographer.
Oh yeah.
Like his work on Dead Man is next level.
Dead Man is, it's amazing.
We will definitely be talking about that one day.
Yes.
I'm sad he's gone though, because he had such an odd, like a raw, he had a knack for capturing like rawness.
Yeah. Like nothing was too glossy or
like beautiful,
shiny.
Although it did actually remind me of how good LA looked in the '80s, with those bright pink sets and how the color seems to come out at night.
Yeah.
And not just from like headlights and stuff, but the way people are lit.
And like the part of that beauty was like it was so far away, like the city. We only saw like the dirty, gritty parts of the city.
It's a grungy movie in every sense of the word, like
absolutely.
Which surprises me that this is a Universal movie or a pictures release. They didn't produce it. They distributed it. Michael Nesmith, one of the guys from the Monkees, actually produced this.
Oh, nice.
Which is one of those interesting little details. I like it when musicians occasionally get in movies, but not in like a deep way. Like, oh hey, they produced this, or hey, they have a quick role in it. Like Iggy Pop showing up in Jim Jarmusch's stuff. Tom York doing the score for the new Suspiria remake, and Joe Strummer showing up in Mystery Train.
Yeah. Speaking
of Alex Cox, Joe Strummer's also in Straight to Hell, which is a punk rock movie he did back in '87.
Nice.
87, 80. Yeah. For the record, Joe Strummer is the lead singer of The Clash.
If you didn't know.
Yeah. Someone probably knew. Everyone knows everything these days. Everything and nothing. It's all up in the air. Kind of smoke and mirrors type things.
Yeah.
The internet is weird.
It is.
So is this podcast. Back to the topic at hand. All right. Now I remember one of the things I really wanted to talk about it. The soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, the soundtrack.
We mentioned.
Beautiful job building.
Yeah, it is kind of a who's who of people, punk artists from the time. Not like the super popular, like the Ramones, the Clash, like the names everyone knows. Like it's kind of the ones that everyone who is deeply involved in that scene remembers, like Circle Jerks, Black Flag, Iggy Pop, Suicidal Tendencies, Burning Sensations, Fear is in it.
It feels very authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, which is I think one of the best things about a movie is when it can have kind of a voice. Even if the story itself is kind of, if not eventful, at least not the primary concern, the best it can do is offer like a unique atmosphere, or the characters. Like I got something out of this, or at least I learned. Like Sean Baker films have this quality, like The Florida Project and Tangerine. Like, also I would bet money he's into it. Him, Paul Thomas Anderson, Nicholas Winding Refn, I know for a fact because he talked about it on his video in the Criterion Closet. I feel like it's one of those in-the-know cult items for filmmaker.
Yes, there are many of.
Or it's a kind of a secret code, like, oh, have you seen this? Like, yeah, you're cool in it.
It's not just like an essential, like, Godfather, Gone with the Wind.
It's not your usual canon classic, like the ones everybody knows. It is a cult film in the true sense of the word.
It's not like a film that you would watch in film school, like in class, but
you'd watch it in film school. You wouldn't watch it in class. You'd probably watch it like 3 a.m. with buddies on the couch getting high.
It'll be like one you'll talk to your film professor about.
Yeah, I remember recommending it to my professor and a few other things. I remember it was kind of cool to have that effect with Bringing Out the Dead, the Nick Cage Scorsese movie from the late 90s.
Yeah.
It's about a paramedic who, basically 48 hours in his life and him seeing like ghosts of people he couldn't save and much of other things. It's a great movie that I wish more people talked about.
Nice.
Yep, I think it deserves to be out there with Goodfellas and Taxi Driver in terms of Scorsese. That's just me. Yep. I'm trying to think. Repo Man. It's the comedy about it is that it's weird, but it's not quirky. And this is before quirky got kind of.
Before was quirky.
It got turned from less of an actual profound and more like an aesthetic that you can just glob onto things.
Yeah.
Like how Hot Topic is technically emo, but it's really just like a T-shirt. And it's like no, this is genuinely quirky and bizarre too.
Yeah, it has a like a quirky, bizarre.
Quality. Like it actually has like focusing on little details. Like something's off about that. Like the government agents chasing after this car, but they're not really being. And how any sort of conflict is pretty much wrapped up within seconds.
And the picture of the aliens on the newspaper looks like genitalia.
Oh right, I completely missed that. I wonder if they were ever going to talk about this on like one of those the Rewatchables podcasts on the Ringer. Because like there's totally stuff you could notice on subsequent viewings. And not that they pack like every frame is so dense because again this is a very low key movie.
Yeah.
Movie. You just the best way to watch it is I'd argue don't go into it like super invested. Just get the DVD, put it on, lay down on the couch and just relax and let it all wash over you.
Yeah.
I respect a movie that has that kind of vibe to it.
Absolutely. Not all movies have to be
like these 2-hour
pristine.
Like these pristine page biopics. That's the great thing about cinema. It's not just the stories it can tell. It's the variety of story. It's the not just the story. What else can you communicate with like character? I always thought character is more important than plot, and stuff like this is why.
Yeah, but I can agree with that. In some instances, plot works more than character.
Yeah. And vice versa.
Yeah, and it really all depends. It all depends.
I took notes during like I remember you did too.
Yeah.
But I filled up an entire page. I think you only wrote like a couple sentences.
I wrote like. Yep. I like the short, kind of seemingly profound monologues.
Oh yeah.
That the characters had. Like when one of the other punk group members died, in the gas station floor, he talked about like
how he actually wanted the life, or how he was actually one of the life. Like you can't tell if he's being serious or he's just fucking with us. But it's interesting. Like there's also the other little things like the fact that his parents are pretty much non-existent. Like you see him in one scene, they're glued to the television watching some sort of televangelist dude. You're telling them to donate their money to a charity that probably isn't going to use the money for what it's supposed to.
I feel like I've seen that trope a few times, like just parents.
But in a way, you never seen it like this where you actually could buy someone like burn it. Like they waste his college money, or a college fund on that would be Emilio Estevez's character, or on some sort of Ponzi scheme, I think.
Yeah, like sending Bibles to the.
Oh right, sending Bibles. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That pays off in a really good gag at the end where everyone finally meets up to go after the car. There's one point where it uses where it starts to shocking people like lightning. I'm like, is this thing secretly possessed by Albert
Palpatine?
We're like, eh. Okay. I mean, the fact that they brought him back for the new Star Wars means anything can happen.
And made him a one-off character.
Of course. I actually kind of want that car. I think that's that's
Chevy Malibu. Like neon.
Yeah,
green.
like that glows neon green. That's probably one of my favorite movie cars. It's out there with the Chevy Nova from Death Proof, the one with the blind with the skull. In lightning bolts. The Interceptor from Mad Max. Obviously the DeLorean because you can't do one of the list. And
the Ferrari from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I actually like the Corvette Stingray from Game Night. Because like the red, like that, I'd love a Stingray just to drive around.
Bumblebee.
Yeah. The weird thing is, like, the movie about Repo Man, the cars are just like texture. It's all wallpaper. Paper, basically, stuff to add context.
It's production design.
Oh shit, the Repo Man are here.
Anyways, what would you give it out of 10?
I'm probably an 8. I'm going back and forth between a 9 and an 8. But I'm yeah, I'm just sticking with an 8 because as I get older, I realize that not every movie is a 0 or a 10 or a 10, and most often than not, they're either pretty good or just okay. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is pretty great.
The more movies I see, like
The less special they feel.
Yes, exactly.
Which sounds cynical, but if you think about it, it's just being realistic.
And especially being in film school, like the movie's got to be really, really good.
Yeah, it's got to hit you hard where it
to
hurts.
be really, really good.
Which is why I'm glad I introduced you to Dead Man, because that seemed like that seemed like electrifying, like a shot to the heart. Which is a weird way to describe a movie that's that low key and specific.
Kind of dry and.
It's dry as a bone.
Yeah, literally.
Yep. We'll talk about Dead Man one day. But suffice it to say, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's like what if someone took the album cover to Icky Thump by the White Stripes and made it into I was gonna say, not just aesthetically, it was like it kind of I had that vibe. I wonder if Jack White's a fan of Dead Man. That'd be cool.
I'm sure he is. He's weird.
Yeah, I remember he showed up on one of those one of those History Channel shows about like pawn shops and stuff.
What?
Like I can't remember the American Pickers where they like scope out garages to find weird stuff.
Jack White was on there.
Yeah, he was. I think he bought like a statue of a bear or an elephant.
That's awesome.
A tusk or something. Yeah. I wonder. I like speaking of which we talk about like musicians being in film. I kind of want to see what Jack White would do pop in a movie. I know he had a cameo as Elvis in Walk Hard.
Really?
Yeah, he did. A lot of people. I remember Paul Rudd and Jack Black played a couple of the Beatles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, Walk Hard. God, that's just such a good one. We might talk about that one.
Walk Hard?
Maybe, I'm not sure, because we aren't going to talk about everything. We're not going to talk about, like, the fame. We want to do weird stuff because, one, not very many people talk about this stuff in a way that's non-ironic, not, lol, let's just make a meme out of this.
But more of, like, a genuine appreciation for the...
Like, not in the ironic or even the super pretentious, more, hey, this is... More like guys like, hey, just talking about it and stuff like that. Kind of, I want to say it feels like when you were a kid and you were talking about this, but it's more enthusiastic is the word I want to use. I'm sorry, my brain is completely fried. I wonder if the car got out of the movie and started to affect me. Oh boy. Yeah, what you gave it a 9, right? Out of 10.
Yeah, I mean that was my first time watching it, so right now.
Yeah, it's I
gave it a 9.
I was gonna say this is just off the cuff.
Yeah.
For you.
And it's gotta soak in.
Yeah.
More,
it's a good one. It's a good one to revisit.
Oh yes,
I
definitely will.
I kind of wish I might actually watch it again tonight and put it on the director's commentary. I showed it from the Criterion DVD, which the cover for this thing is amazing.
Sponsored by Criterion.
Technically, I mean, we're film nerds, so we're gonna give Criterion on a shout out whenever we want to, because Shout Factory, Arrow Video, all those like specialty DVD outlets, because they're kind of doing the Lord's work in a way, preserving cinema. Well, like, what other DVD outlet's gonna put out? I don't know, Roadie. It's a comedy that Meatloaf did back in. Yes, that Meatloaf. Or it did in like the early '80s, or it's kind of they're deep sea divers and kind of preserving things.
Was it Meatloaf in Fight Club?
He is.
Yeah, he plays Bob.
Oh yeah, Bob Bitch Tits or whatever his nickname. That's his nickname in it, right?
Yes.
I was gonna say I should probably cut that out over a second.
Great character.
Great character name.
Yes.
I think they actually got it was our John Dexter or Stan Winston to do the effects for him. Like Meatloaf actually didn't gain weight. I think that was actually like a prosthetic suit. Like
oh yeah.
Like Eddie Murphy in The Nutty Professor. Like I think that was an actual. There we go. The optical effects in going back to Repo Man. I really love how they do the car. I mean, like it's deliberately unreal looking. It looks like the opening of Heavy Metal kind of, with only just less tactile and more like an album cover, like a concert poster from like 1977.
Yeah, like clearly edited.
Yeah, done in post, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't look real, it looks cool, and that's kind of what matters. It's a memorable image.
Memorable, yeah. Great way to put it.
Yep. Anyway, I think we're run out of things to say because it's first episode. We're just college students. We don't know what we're doing, and I guess that's the charm. One could argue that's the charm. I mean, I'm not sure how strong that argument would be, but you could actually make an argument. Yeah. So, next week we're going to be talking about Ralph Bakshi's Wizards. That's when we're going to get into the really fun stuff, weird stuff.
Yes.
Good old-fashioned 70s psychedelic fantasy in ways only Ralph Bakshi could do it. do it. You know, it's a family picture. Yeah, a family picture with fairies that are drawn like Frank Frazetta posters and like goblin-looking things inspired by old World War II propaganda films as their villain, his motivation.
That's awesome. I'm excited.
Oh, we're definitely watching next weekend. Don't you worry. In the meantime, subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, and yeah, we're gonna be having a YouTube channel up and loaded. I just gotta figure out the technical stuff with that. See you around. Thanks for listening.